All right, good evening, good evening. This is Dr. King coming to you from 800 Link, and tonight's presentation is going to be on building a coaching philosophy. Remember, this month I have been covering a series of it's basketball season. I'm a basketball coach. Y'all can see the USA basketball banner hanging behind me on the wall. But the final series, oh, excuse me, we're in May. I'm sorry, we're in May. So this is another thing. I spent all of April discussing basketball, different coaching topics. And so starting with May, I'm discussing another topic, and it's going to be about developing a coaching philosophy. If you're a coach of any sport, doesn't matter what it is, you need to have a coaching philosophy. And this philosophy is basically your foundation as a coach. And so I have my papers here, have my notes, going to be reading those, discussing some things, and I'm going to use my philosophy from my own team page. My program's philosophy. I run the Lady Panthers Girls Basketball Association here in Duncanville, Texas, and DFW Metroplex, and we have a coaching philosophy. I have a coaching philosophy. But what is a coaching philosophy? A coaching philosophy is your set of values, principles, and beliefs upon which you will make your determinations of how you will run your program. So it's the very foundation, baseline, bedrock of your foundation is your program is going to be built on your coaching philosophy. And so what makes a good coaching philosophy? And I want to share with you now the coaching philosophy for my webpage. Okay, this is my webpage. It's but the website is www.lpgba.ladypanthers.org. And so this is our page. We've been having this page for 13 years now. I think it's been 13 years going down, showing you what my program is about. We won world championship back in 2018. We won a 3-on-3 championship. My girls have won various, local tournaments. And then we're part of the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition. We're an official youth organization for USA Basketball, and we're part of the Federal National Youth Sports Strategy Champions Program. Recently, we have partnered with the City of Fort Worth, Parks and Recreation Department. We're going to be helping revamp their girls basketball program over there. So that's a big one. And our upcoming program is going to be Her Time to Play, which is a junior NBA girls program, half court time, half in the classroom, talking about life skills and things like that. We're also a Dallas Mavericks Girls Empowered by Mavericks program partner. So we'll be hosting some Dallas Mavericks gym programs for them as well. But what I really want to show you is our page on what our mission and vision, my coaching philosophy for the program, and it's about the Lady Panthers. And so when you start thinking about a program, like I said, you want to understand that your coaching philosophy are your values, principles, and beliefs upon which you will run your program. And so the first thing that you want to have as part of your philosophy is you got to understand, what is the purpose? All of these, the purpose, the mission, the vision, and the overview are your foundation. And I broke them down into sections for myself, for my program. But your foundation is, what are you looking to accomplish with your program? At the very end, what are your goals? Your foundation is your purpose statement. What is your purpose for running this program? And as you can see with mine, it's the goal of the Lady Panthers Girls Basketball Association is to make the sport of basketball fun and safe. LPGBA promotes the values and importance of physical activities in the emotional, physical, social, and mental development of female youth. Our program is grounded in both the servant leadership and positive youth development theories, and is both a prevention and life skills-based program. LPGBA leaders believe that participation in sports builds character and is a great venue to teach life skills. That's the very foundation of what we're doing. And so the mission, your mission statement is, what are you seeking to do with your program? Your foundation is your purpose statement. That's your purpose statement. And then the goals are your mission statement. So my mission for my program is the LPGBA leaders and coaching staff will help female youth athletes to reach their full potential in life by teaching them educational and life skills, along with the skills and development necessary to be successful on the court. That's our goal. That is our overall mission for the program. And then your vision statement. What is the vision for your program when you're looking ahead 3, 5, 10, 12 years? What is your vision? Our overall vision is to have a girls basketball program whose foundation is based on USA basketball training and development, and whose players are chosen to play on school USA basketball as well as FIBA and Olympic basketball teams. That is my vision. Like they said, if your goals don't scare you, your goals aren't big enough. My goals are vast and they are big, and I'm saying, hey, I want to train girls that'll one day be on a FIBA team, one day be on an Olympic team. That's the vision for our program. Not just to play basketball games and all of that, but we really want to train and develop girls to go on to play on their school teams, to play for USA basketball, to play for FIBA or USA basketball FIBA teams, and hopefully one day be on an Olympic basketball team. That's our vision. What is your long-term vision for your program? That's what your vision is. And then next you have your overview. And your overview is, what is your program specifically? Who is your program partnered with? Who is your program set up to coach by gender, age group, etc., and things like that. My overview is quite long, so I'm not going to go through all of it. But LPGBA is a 501c3 AAU girls program, a Health.gov National Youth Sports Strategy Champion Program, a USA Basketball Accredited Youth Organization, a Junior NBA Her Time to Play member organization, as well as a USA Basketball 3-on-3 and FIBA 3-on-3 program. Our focus is to teach marginalized girls how to play basketball while also focusing on them improving on their grades, behavior, nutrition, and physical fitness. And I stress marginalized girls here because most often we're going to coach the girls that are in marginalized areas. And, marginalized areas tend to be your minority neighborhoods, or your low income neighborhoods. And so those are the girls that we do tend to coach. And I am okay with that. I love that. I want the girls that are overlooked and underrated, because those are the ones that are going to work hard for you. And so, yes, I do put marginalized girls in here, but I will coach anyone that wants to coach, myself and my coaching staff. But we do tend to focus on coaching marginalized girls. And once again, marginalized is defined by those that are living in low income neighborhoods and tend to be the minority areas of where you live. And so, but we have other things in here like, and I need to fix this because we're actually on our 13th anniversary, but and I thought I had fixed that, but like we're USA Basketball, NCAA, NAIA, NFHS, AAU, AIC, CIC, NAES, and NAES Select trained coaching staff. These are all the different certifications. USA Basketball has one, NCAA has one, NAIA has one, National Federation of High School Sports has one. They have the AIC, the Accredited Interscholastic Certification, and Certified Interscholastic Certification. Those are the two certifications for NFHS, and then AAU. And then NAES is National Alliance of Youth Sports, and then they have National Alliance of Youth Sports Select. So my coaches and myself are all trained in these different certification programs, as well as AAU's Positive Coaching Alliances, LMM Mastery Concepts. These are all different certifications, and they all pretty much say the same things. Some focus on our certain areas and others, but we are all trained in those things. So we're partnered with them. What age groups are we designed to set up? To coach. We are set up to coach girls ages 5 to 17, and I would say 5 to 18. And then sometimes we have as many as 100 plus players, and sometimes we may only have 10. The number fluctuates. It depends on the goals of the parents and their child's training needs throughout the year. We are preparing our girls to play for some of the best junior high and high school programs in the DFW area that would hopefully prepare them to play for college programs at all levels, including NCAA and NAIA Divisions 1 and 2, as well as NCAA Division 3 and junior college. It doesn't, going to college and playing for a junior college, that's not a low thing. Because only 7% of kids, period, go on from high school to play college sports. And basketball specifically, what is it? I think the last thing I saw was 6%, but somebody said 7%, I read recently. So when you're starting to think about hundreds of thousands of kids playing sports and only 6 or 7% move on to play high school ball at any level, it doesn't really matter what level you're playing with. That is actually a blessing. And so all of these, your vision statement, your purpose statement, mission statement, vision statement, and overview are all part of your coaching philosophy. And then the next thing you have are your policies. And your policies are, what policies will your program adhere to and enforce? And when you're part of certain programs like USA Basketball, Junior NBA, those areas, they have, those are governing bodies. A governing body is that big umbrella. So with USA Basketball, USA Basketball is the governing body for youth sports in the country, or basketball, excuse me, not youth sports, basketball in the country. USA Basketball is our umbrella for basketball in the United States of America. So as we are USA Basketball certified coaches, we do have to adhere to their policies, their governing policies. So all LPGBA players, coaches, and staff are checked with a level 3 background check through USA Basketball and Sterling Volunteers. Our coaches, players, and staff are all protected by both internal policies and those policies and safety guidelines created by Safe Sport. Those internal policies, we have our own policies here at USA Basketball. Let me see if I can remember. I'm on this page all the time, but I'm always changing around things. So let me see if I can remember where I put that information. It may be in the registration information, which I don't have highlighted. Oh, the team rules are there up under here? Yeah, here we go. I've changed around some things and renamed some pages. So our policies are not listed under what they are, and then some of them have their own pages. But we have internal policies, like we have policies for coaches and staff. We have policies for players and parents. We have anti-bullying, anti-hazing, and anti-bullying and anti-hazing policies. I need to fix that. I'm finding some typos on my pages. No worries though, I'm human. We can fix these things. Things that parents should and should not be doing during the games. There's a segment of sports, where, you have coaches, you have players, and you have parents. That's the trinity of basketball: coaches, players, parents. So we have policies for our coaches and staff. We have policies for our players. We have policies for our parents. We have social media policies. We have policies where if you come to our program from another program, that we ask that if you're leaving a program, that you give those coaches the common courtesy to let them know you're leaving. There's just all type of policies in place that we have. And so those are things that when you run a good program, a program worth its weight as salt to be the best, and you want it to be the best, and your vision, your philosophy is for it to be one of the best, these are things that you want to have in place. You want everybody to know what your purpose is, what your mission is, what your vision is for your program, the overview of your program, and what policies that if they come to play for your program, that the players as well as their parents and the coaching staff will adhere to. And those are things that make up your philosophy, but your philosophy is what creates those. So it's kind of like a cyclical thing. As when you go in and tweak your philosophy, you're going to tweak your policies. You're going to tweak your mission statement. You're going to tweak your vision statement. Your overview, not so much. Your overview is kind of like, why did you get this started? But your purpose, your mission, and your vision is going to change sometimes, because there are sometimes things will happen and you need to change some things. You may decide not to do this. You may decide to incorporate some things. So, your purpose statement may not change. It may change a little bit, but every now and then you may find that your mission and your vision statements will change. But all of these are predicated on your coaching philosophy. And most often coaching philosophies are also grounded in your beliefs, your religious beliefs. A lot of people's coaching philosophies are based on morality, being ethical, things of that nature. So in layman's terms, your coaching philosophy is your code. Who are you? When you're talking about yourself as a coach, who are you? What are you trying to bring to the realm of coaching or the coaching arena that you don't see anybody else doing, or you have figured out that, hey, we could be doing this better? So who are you as a coach? What do you stand for? What is your foundation? What is your moral foundation as a coach? What do you stand for? What will you and will you not, what will and will you not allow? That was a tongue twister. What will you and what will you not allow as for somebody to either coach for you, play for you, or their parents to be in the stands with a child in your jersey? What are things that you will and will not allow to go on? How does that equate to how you will run your program? So who you are, what you stand for, and what you will and will not allow all equates to your purpose statement, your mission statement, your vision statement, and the policies. Like I said, your overview is just basically a background history of how your program started, who you're set up to coach and things like that. So your overview may not change as much, but your purpose, vision, and mission statements may, and your policies may. But they're all based on who you are and what your code is as a coach. And so once you determine what your code is, do what you say you're going to do. Don't just put these things on here. Don't just have these policies. I don't just put these policies on here and then I don't just go to my team rules page, and have these policies listed on there and don't enforce them and don't use them and don't adhere to them. Because that kind of throws off your integrity. You're not doing what you're saying you're going to do. You have all this stuff down in writing, but you're not saying what you're not really enforcing those things. You're not standing by your words. And so when you put your coaching philosophy down on paper and on a website for your team, you stand by those, and then walk the talk. I had to figure out where I was on. Don't just, like I said, don't just put this stuff on here and say, this is what we're expecting, and then you go out and do the opposite. Because there's one thing about coaching children or really coaching anybody. When you say you're going to do something and your actions and behaviors on the sideline in practice, on the court or whatever does not reflect that, kids pick up on that first more than they will pick up on it quicker than anybody else. Parents will next. But then your coaches that are with you through thick and thin and through everything, they will also pick up on it. So you walk the talk. If you're going to ask parents, to not do things, or ask parents, to not interfere with practice unless they're helping, which is one of my rules. But then you allow parents to come in and dictate what's going on in your practice, or you ask parents not to talk to their players, during the game, telling them to do this and do that. And then when there's something like that, you don't discipline there, your integrity is shot. And so then bottom line is how you do right by the people you will coach, the people that are on your staff, and the parents and your community, because it's not just about your program. I'm Coach Bree of the Lady Panthers, but I'm also part of the Duncanville community. I'm also part of the DFW Metroplex. I'm also part of Dallas County. So when we go out and I have on my Lady Panther gear and my kids have on their jerseys, my parents have on our shirts, I always tell them, respect the name on the front of the jersey. I'm not worried about the name on the back. Sometimes we put our kids' names on the back of the jersey. It's the name on the front of the jersey that I want you to respect. And so that's part of my coaching philosophy. If you're going to play for my program, you have to respect the jersey. Excuse me, y'all, my allergies have been acting up like crazy today. And my throat has been itching. I've taken some allergy meds, but you see me take a drink, that's because my throat is itching. I'm trying not to have a hysterical, just outlandish coughing fest. But respect the name on my jersey. As a coach, I have to lead by example. If I want anybody else to respect the name on my jersey, excuse me, so that's everything that I've just showed you is part of our coaching philosophy. And all of my coaches, I didn't just create these philosophies by myself. Yeah, most of them are mine because it's my program, but I also sit down and I talk with my coaches and I say, hey, what is it that you guys want to see us do with this program? Not just me, because I'm not doing this by myself. So I sit down with my coaches and I ask them all, what are your opinions? What are we trying to do with this program? Because we all have kids that are playing or have played for our program. And I even ask my players, like I have players now that are getting ready to graduate high school who are also junior coaches for my program now. And I ask them, what are things that you like that we did? What are some things that you want us to change or, tweak or something like that? I want input because, like I said, your mission statement and your vision statements may change. Your overview won't. And as I go in and seek input from my coaches, I'm always thinking of these three things right here: my purpose, my mission, and my vision statements. what is it about these things that I want to make sure that we are adhering to? We are being, with the utmost integrity and moral behavior and ethical behavior, that what we do. Do we need to change some things? Do we need to add some things, delete some things, tweak some things? It's just those things are what they call dynamic, not static. They're dynamic. They're changing. You don't want to be, go from this extreme to the next. Your purpose statement shouldn't change much, but there are some things that you may tweak. Your mission statement shouldn't change much, but a lot of times you're going to add some things. You're not going to delete, you're going to add. Your vision statement, you may change some things depending on what's going on. The pandemic caused a lot of coaches and a lot of people to realize, what they can and can't do, and what they should and shouldn't do, and what you didn't know you could do, but actually can. Persevering and determination when you're going through something, and then rethink what you value and how you're going to handle things, and you just trying to make it through to the other side to keep going. You don't want your program to fold because of a pandemic or something like that. You want to keep going and make it through to the other side, come out just that much cleaner, crisper, better, and doing more and even better. So when you start thinking about your foundation and your coaching philosophy, some things are going to be dynamic and they're going to change, and some things are going to be static and they're not going to change. So you want to make sure that when you are doing your coaching philosophy, the one thing that does not change is who you are as a coach. It doesn't matter what other people are out there doing, or you seeing some things that are going on and things are not changing. You say, well, hey, why do I have to do this? I don't see, these people are not changing. They seem to be, it's like the bad ones seem to be getting all the glory. That's not necessarily true. All that glitters isn't gold, and just because it looks a certain way doesn't mean it is. Stand firm on who you are as a coach. I have never changed who I am as a coach by way of doing what's right by my players. There's some things that as a coach, when you start coaching, you have all of these high hopes and all of these high dreams and these visions, and you start seeing things, and then you start coaching and you're like, woo, and then sometimes, you have to mature as a coach. There are things that you should and shouldn't say. I've gone through all of this. I'm not telling you anything that I myself have not had to endure, so you start out as a coach and everything's fun, and and then you start having to deal with parents and players. You may have 15, 20 players in your program. Guess what? All 15 to 20 of those girls are players, have different attitudes, different beliefs, different behaviors, different emotions. You got to learn how to deal with that. Then they all come with parents. They have the same things. You have to deal with that. You have to learn to deal with other coaches and their behavior issues, other players on other teams, other tournament directors. There's just so much that you have to learn, that you will grow. There are things that you won't know what to do until you experience them. So as a coach, your vision statement and your mission statements and your purpose statements may change a little bit. They shouldn't change drastically unless you didn't go into coaching for the right reasons to begin with, and you have now matured and you realize that your purpose, your mission, and your vision need to change. And it happens, and so when you're thinking of your coaching philosophy, you're trying to make the best program possible for you to grow in. You, your staff, your players, your parents. You're not going into coaching trying to win trophies. Yeah, you want to win, but winning should not be the top tier thing that you're doing. What you should be doing is developing your players, and as you develop your players, your trophies will come. So let's switch it this way. It doesn't matter which way, but if we do this and say this is the kids, winning should be down here. You start down there as you develop your kids, the wins, develop your kids, the wins, develop the kids, the wins, and the trophies come. It should be about your players first. And as you develop your players both on and off the court, those trophies and those wins will come. Once again, I'm not telling you something I do not know, because I do know. We've had to develop players. I have trophies. I have a world championship. We have a 3-on-3 championship. We have several. We have a national championship. We have several local championships. I have the trophies. I'm not trophy chasing. I'm chasing the development of my players. I want my players to grow up, my girls to grow up to be organized, professional, mature, goal-seeking women. That's what I'm teaching them to do with basketball. Now, can you use basketball to help pay for college? Yes. If you're in high school, there are high schools, prep schools, all these things now that have tuition. Can you use basketball to help pay that? Yes, but your ultimate goal is to develop those kids and say, hey, You can use basketball to help you reach your goals, but basketball should not be the only way you reach your goals. You know, there are some kids, there are very few kids who are going to play professional sports, but the understanding and what I make my kids understand is that professional sports has a finite lifespan. Only depending on when you go pro, 10 to 15, 20 years, depending. Some sports, that's why I said 10 to 15, 20 years. There are some sports kids have been playing all their lives, you know, they get professional, but for the professional athlete, they may go pro at what, 19, 20, 21. They're done by 35, 36 at the latest. You don't see too many 40-year-old professional athletes. If you do, they're not there for long. You know, your average lifespan of a professional athlete is their 20s into mid 30s and they're done. You know, so you have to have a plan B. So yes, there are some that are going to go professional and that's fine. But for your average athlete, they're not going to go professional and they need to have a backup. You use your program to teach them, yes, we're going to teach you how to play your sport and we're going to teach you how to, you know, to go, you know, if you want to go to college, we can help you get there. We're not going to get you there because that's one thing that players and parents need to understand. As a coach, I can't get you to college. I can teach you the tools that you need to get yourself to college. That's part of my coaching philosophy. When I talk to my players, I tell them that it's not my job to get you D1. My job is to put you in the positions and train you and get you in front of people that you hopefully can get a D1 scholarship or D2 or D3 or JUCO. But for me to tell some parent, oh, I can get your kid a D1 scholarship. No, that's not what I can do. I can only be a catalyst in your child getting themselves any type of, whether D1, D2, D3, JUCO, whatever, offer. You know, and that's part of my coaching philosophy. You will never hear me tell a parent, I can get your child on a basketball scholarship. No, I can't. I can do what I need to do to help your child get themselves a college offer. Make sense? So when you start talking about coaching philosophies, your coaching philosophies is grounded here. It's grounded inside here. It's grounded inside here. Your heart, your soul, your mind, your purpose for why you went into coaching to begin with. And once again, if it was something other than trying to do what's best for kids and develop kids and teach them life skills with a sport, whatever sport is in tow, then your purpose, mission, and vision statements are going to change very quickly when you start coaching, if you are what you say you're about. If you're just about winning trophies and collecting trophies and putting them on the shelves, then no longer, your program is not going to last long and you're not going to last long as a coach. Just being honest with you. Your purpose and your vision and your mission have to be about your players and what you're trying to do with your program to help those players. Everything with my program, my purpose, my mission, my vision, my overview, my policies, they are all designed with getting a better player, having them better when they leave us than when they came to us. Because they're going to phase out, they're going to grow. Some may move on to other programs, and that's fine. They will age out because we only go up to 18. Once they graduate high school, it's not that we're done with them. We just don't have anything in place to coach beyond high school. Do we need to get one? If a kid comes to us and say, hey, coach, can we start an adult program? I would absolutely start one. I will absolutely start one. Hasn't happened yet. If our girls that are getting ready to graduate say, hey, can we start an adult league? I will absolutely start one. So, but until that point, right now, kids will phase out and age out with us after 18 or at 18. So I want them to be better at 18 than whatever age they came to us. And I'm saying better as a basketball player and better as a person. Grades, attitude and behavior, nutrition, fitness, all of that. We're working on all of that because we're not just working on the hands and the physical development. We're working on the mental development, the emotional development, all things, physiology, eating good, hydrating, getting good grades, getting good citizenship, not having a bad attitude. We're talking about all of that is what we do. And that's all because myself and my coaches have come up with a coaching philosophy of what we want for this program and how we're going to make it work. And we've been successful at it for the last, and I'll take that lie back. It is our 11-year anniversary. My apologies. I have been coaching for 13 years, but my program, the Lady Panthers Girls Basketball Association, we have only been in existence for 11 years. As of April 10th, 2021, That was our 11-year anniversary. And I need to grammatically fix this sentence, because when I did this, it wasn't April 10th yet. But as of April 10th, it was our 11-year anniversary. I have just been coaching for 13 years. But it's your coaching philosophy is who you are. It's what you are about. Why did you go into coaching? If you want to start a program, because sometimes people are going to coaching, but they coach for someone else's program. They're not coaching for their own program. They're coaching for someone else. But when you start to run your own program, coaching philosophy, whether you're coaching with somebody or running your own, your coaching philosophy, you have to have one. You have to have one. Now, when you start to run your own program, your philosophy is going to get a little bigger. You're going to do some things, because guess what? It's your name that's on that program. When you're coaching for someone else, it's different than when you're coaching with something with your name registered with the Internal Revenue Service. When you have a program registered with the IRS, you have to have a coaching philosophy in place, because you got to have a foundation for how you are going to run your program with morality and ethical behavior and integrity in tow. You have to. Because if you don't, you're not only going to get in trouble with your parents and your program, you're going to get in trouble legally. So make sure that your coaching philosophy is understood as your set of values, principles, and beliefs with which you will determine how you will run your program, or how you will just coach. If you just want to coach and you want to coach for someone else, these are your values, principles, and beliefs upon which you will coach your team. If you have a program, it's your values, principles, and beliefs for how you will run your program. But you have to have a coaching philosophy. It's not something that just comes out of thin air. You need to sit down and think about this. And I'm telling you for myself, 13-year coach, you will, if you don't create a philosophy for yourself, one is going to be thrown on you, and it may not be the one that you want. You want to set the standard for your program and how it will run, what type of kids are going to play for you, what type of parents, what type of behavior you're going to allow and not allow, and what things your program is going to do. You have to sit down with your coaches and figure those things out. That's all part of your coaching philosophy. Remember the whole thing on coaching administration that we talked about a couple of weeks ago? In hand with your coaching philosophy, your philosophy goes into how you run your administrative side of your program. Okay. So your foundation, which is your purpose, your mission, which are your goals, your vision, which is your long-term goals of what you see your program doing. Then your overview tells about your program, and then your policies that you're going to adhere to. These are all different segments of your overall coaching policy. Okay. And so when you start talking about having a coaching philosophy, not policy, coaching philosophy. So when you start talking about how am I going to do my program? What do we want to do? That's you starting to focus and hone in on your coaching philosophy. And if you need help, just contact me. This email address, I'm going to just ask Bridget@ticommunities.com. And if you know me, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Dr. Bridget King EDD, or Bridget M. King EDD. You can find me. And if you need help doing these things, you can call 214-659-1205, and I can help you get these things going. Coaches should help each other and reach out. And if you need help, don't just go about it, like I say, all willy-nilly. If you need help, ask someone. There is nothing wrong as a coach. I don't care if you've been coaching for 20 years. There is nothing wrong with sometimes getting with another coach, saying, hey, let's sit down and let's talk a little bit. Let me make sure that I'm doing things the correct way. So your coaching philosophy, make sure that you have one. Make sure that you have one in place. That it's about who you are as a coach, what your program is going to be about, what your players are going to be about. You need one. If you don't have one already, then get one in place, because it's what you're building your program off of. And so with that, I'm going to say good evening. Hope you have a good evening. Hope this was a wonderful day. My throat is starting to itch and I don't want to cough in the camera. So I'm going to end this. But once again, if you need me, 800-EDUCATOR Bridget, BRID as in dog, GETTE @TICommunities.com, or you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Dr. Bridget M. King EDD, or you can call me 214-659-1205. And hey, if you have some time, go check out my program, go check out my website, and you can figure out. And once again, and I saw some things I need to tweak. So as soon as I get off here, I'll be logging into there and tweaking those things. And it is LPGBA Lady Panthers, all one word, .org. www.lpgba.ladypanthers.org. And I say you have a good evening. I will see you all next week, and I'll say bye-bye.